Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Alcantara, and I'm a member of Anakbai in Seattle, as well as a parishioner over at Beacon United. Sorry I couldn't make it tonight, but just wanted to contribute a little excerpt or I guess a little story about accountability before you all break out into your discussions tonight. This is something that I've been examining more intensely over the last few weeks as I'm in the middle of an accountability process myself, and especially in regards to DV. Just reflecting on ways that I have shown up in relationships or not shown up in relationships based on how society perceives relationships, especially as a man, and how I've been reflecting on how ways that I show up in relationship. I think a lot of the prayers I'm kind of scrolling through here, ways that we can really feel, I think as men especially, just to speak from that perspective, the real grief, the real impact, the real pain, so that we can also feel the grace, the kindness, and the peace. To really feel is something I've been reflecting on a lot. And in my own specific situation, accountability is just being. I think it's being reminded of the impacts that you have, either intentional or unintentional, in the ways that you go about every day. In the gospel sense, the gospel is the good news, and Jesus lived an example that kept us in a relationship that was more prime to those things, more in contact, more connected with the good and the bad, and that includes the good and bad of ourselves and how we show up for ourselves and other people in that. Because if I'm not showing up to my own ways of hurting, and the ways that I hurt myself, I'm going to be hurting someone else in the long run. So for all these reflections and the prayers and call to worships that are reminding us of suffering and sadness and woundedness. In my specific situation, it's how I'm reminded of ways that, or even just opened up to the possibility that I am hurting or causing suffering, and to be better from that. I think something I've also been confronting is that the good news can hurt sometimes. The gospel, the truth, is it's something we must always stay in prime relationship with, but for the aspiration of being better, but also being accountable and true to our community and ourselves, this is something we have to be also stay connected with. Jesus showed us that example. We are continuing that example here in gatherings like this at Vespers tonight. And we'll continue that with the discussion that occurs afterwards. I think the final thing will be about resources, but there are many, many resources, but I think the best resources we have also are the connections that we're building tonight, because the people that know us, the people that see us, the people that we show up to every day are the ones that are going to keep us closest to that level of accountability, that trueness, that oneness, that prime relationship that we should be having with ourselves and each other. So just to share with that, I'd also like to offer my own contact info and stuff. I can hand that over to someone tonight, but just especially in regards to the ways that that men themselves do show up or like don't show up in accountability in relationship. They're not things we learn. I think that's why it's uncomfortable as well. They're things that intentionally keep us in a place of power and distance away from those most impacted. That includes other men, but it's especially harmful to women, children, and people that aren't necessarily centered in our society all the time. So for that, I'm hopeful for a good discussion that you guys have tonight about accountability and the questions that the facilitators have, and send you with much peace and love, and many thanks. Okay, bye.